Let me tell you something. 5 months can change your entire life. You don't need a year. You don't need a miracle, and you don't need everybody to believe in you. What you need is a plan, a purpose, and the discipline to chase it like your life depends on it, because it does. See, success ain't about luck. It's about strategy. You can't sit around waiting on the perfect time, because there ain't no perfect time. The time is now. You've got 5 months. That's 1 to 50 days. That's 600 hours. What are you going to do with them? Waste them or win with them? Month 1 is about vision. You can't hit a target you can't see. Write down what you want. Don't say, I just want to be successful. That's too vague. Say, I want to start my business. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to save $5,000. You have to make it plain, because once you see it, you can chase it. Month 2 is grind time. This is when most people quit, because it's not exciting anymore. The hype wears off and the hard part kicks in. But this is where the winners separate themselves. Wake up early, cut off distractions, stop scrolling through everybody else's success and start building your own. If you want to change your life, you have to outwork the old version of you. Month 3 is faith season. This is when life will test you. The results will be slow, your mind will get tired, and people will doubt you. But you've got to keep showing up. You've got to believe in what you can't see yet. That's how faith works. You walk toward it before it appears. Month 4 is momentum. By now, your habits are forming. You're seeing progress. You start realizing you don't need permission anymore, because you've already proven you can do it. This is where you go from motivation to movement. Don't slow down now. Speed up. Month 5 is reward. This is when you look back and say, I did that. You might not be at the finish line yet, but you're miles ahead of where you started. You built consistency. You built confidence. And most importantly, you built belief. Because here's the truth, success ain't built in a day, it's built daily. Every morning you decide to keep going, even when nobody's clapping for you. Every night you choose purpose over comfort. You give 5 months everything you've got and watch how your life shifts. So stop waiting for January. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for somebody to rescue you. You've got 5 months, and that's enough to rewrite your whole story. Vision comes first, because without vision, you're just moving in circles, doing a lot, but going nowhere. The first step in building a 5-month success plan is knowing exactly what you're chasing. You have to see it before you can seize it. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack direction. You can't build a house without a blueprint, and you can't build a dream without a vision. When you wake up in the morning, your goals should be clear enough that you could describe them in one sentence. If you can't, you're not ready yet. Success doesn't happen by accident. It starts with a picture in your mind so strong that you can feel it before it's real. When you create that vision, don't make it small just to keep yourself comfortable. Stretch it, challenge it, make it something that scares you a little and excites you a lot, because the size of your vision determines the size of your grind. If you see yourself just surviving, that's all you'll ever do. But if you see yourself thriving, building, leading, creating, your actions will rise to that level. Your vision becomes your GPS. It doesn't matter if the road gets bumpy or you get lost for a while, because when the vision is clear, the direction always returns. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Visualize it every single day. Don't keep it in your head where doubt can cloud it. Put it somewhere you can see it when you wake up and when you go to sleep. The more you remind yourself what you're working toward, the stronger your focus becomes. That's how vision starts to take root. The moment you can see your future clearly, your energy shifts. You start walking differently, talking differently, thinking differently. You stop chasing everything that moves because you're locked in on the one thing that matters. You don't need to know every step right now. You just need to know where you're going. The rest will unfold as you move. Vision gives you purpose when times get tough, and clarity when the noise gets loud. When you can see your goal like it's already yours, your grind becomes personal, your choices become intentional, and your future starts to take shape in front of you. Discipline beats motivation every single time, because motivation fades, but discipline stays when the excitement dies. Motivation feels good in the beginning. It's that spark that gets you started, but discipline is what keeps the fire burning when the days get heavy and the results are slow. Anybody can start something when they feel inspired, but the real test comes on those mornings when you don't feel like doing anything. That's when discipline steps in and says, we're doing this anyway. Success doesn't care about your mood, it rewards your consistency. You can't wait for the perfect vibe. You have to create structure strong enough to carry you through the days when you'd rather quit. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done even when nobody's watching. It's the silent commitment that separates dreamers from doers. You won't always feel fired up, but you can always choose to show up. That's the difference between people who wish and people who win. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's built in the quiet hours. When you wake up earlier than you want to, when you skip the comfort that calls your name, when you say no to shortcuts that promise fast results. Every act of discipline builds a layer of strength that motivation alone can't give you. When you decide to live with discipline, you stop negotiating with excuses. You stop saying, I'll do it later, because later becomes never. You start treating your goals like they're not optional. You understand that feelings are temporary, but the rewards of discipline last a lifetime. Every great achievement you've ever admired came from somebody who chose to be disciplined long after their motivation ran out. They didn't always feel like doing it, but they did it anyway. That's the secret. Discipline doesn't make life harder, it makes it clearer. When you've made the decision to stick with your plan no matter how you feel, you remove confusion. You don't have to wonder what to do next. You already know. Discipline builds confidence because you start trusting yourself. You stop making promises you don't keep. You become dependable to your own dreams. Over time, that daily discipline becomes part of who you are. And once it's part of you, success stops being a possibility and starts becoming your pattern. Faith is the bridge between effort and results because there will always be a gap between the work you put in and the reward you're waiting for. In that space, most people give up because they can't see anything happening. Faith is what keeps you walking when the path looks empty. It's believing that what you're doing will pay off even when the evidence hasn't shown up yet. You can have the best plan, the strongest work ethic, but without faith, you'll quit before the miracle happens. Faith isn't blind hope, it's focused trust. It's knowing that if you plant the seed, water it, and nurture it, something is growing underground even if you can't see it yet. There are going to be days when your hard work feels invisible, when you give your all and still don't see progress. That's the testing phase. Faith steps in right there and says, keep going. It reminds you that delayed doesn't mean denied. Everything great takes time to mature. And faith is the patience that holds you steady while life prepares your harvest. When you're building something new, a dream, a business, a better version of yourself, you're not just fighting external challenges, you're fighting internal doubt. Faith is what silences that doubt and tells you your effort matters. Faith also changes your posture. When you have it, you move differently. You stop begging for signs and start walking like you already know where you're headed. You trust that the right doors will open, the right people will appear, and the right opportunities will align because your purpose is bigger than your current position. Faith doesn't eliminate struggle, it gives it meaning. Every obstacle becomes a lesson, every delay becomes direction, and every no becomes a setup for a better yes. You have to protect your faith like it's gold because negativity will try to steal it. People will project their fears onto your dream, telling you it won't work, that you're wasting your time. But faith says, watch me. It's the fuel that keeps you climbing when the mountain feels too high. It's what gives your grind a heartbeat, your patience a reason, and your journey a purpose. Without faith, effort loses power, but with it, even the impossible starts to look possible. Consistency builds confidence and momentum because every time you show up, you prove to yourself that you can be counted on. Success isn't built in one big leap. It's built in small daily steps that stack up over time. People often underestimate the power of doing something repeatedly, even when it feels insignificant. Consistency is the quiet force that turns ordinary actions into extraordinary results. When you're consistent, you create rhythm, and rhythm builds progress. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something faithfully. The more consistent you are, the more confident you become because you start to trust your own effort. Consistency is where a momentum is born. It's what separates those who talk about success from those who live it. At first, progress feels slow, like nothing's changing, but over time, consistency compounds. Just like a drop of water shapes rocks, steady effort reshapes your life. You can't build momentum without movement, and you can't have movement without showing up day after day, even when you don't see instant results. Every day you keep going, you're stacking wins that others can't see yet. You're building strength that doesn't announce itself until it's undeniable. Confidence doesn't come from praise or validation. It comes from proof. And proof comes from doing the work consistently. Each day you follow through, you gather evidence that you can rely on yourself. That evidence becomes confidence. You stop needing to convince yourself that you're capable because your actions already proved it. The stronger your consistency, the quieter your doubts become. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's assurance born from repetition. The more you repeat your effort, the more natural success begins to feel. Momentum is a gift you earn through persistence. Once it starts rolling, everything becomes easier. The habits you fought to build start working for you. You stop forcing yourself to start over every Monday because now it's part of your lifestyle. Consistency trains your mind to stay focused, your body to stay disciplined, and your spirit to stay committed. It turns chaos into structure and dreams into plans. When you're consistent, you don't have to chase opportunities. They start finding you. That's the quiet power of showing up no matter how you feel. Trusting that small steps done daily will always outperform big steps taken occasionally. Progress is proof, not perfection, because real success isn't about having everything figured out. It's about having the courage to take the next step even when it's not perfect. Too many people hold themselves back waiting for the right time, the right plan, or the right feeling, but that moment never comes. Growth happens when you move despite the uncertainty. Every small step forward, every lesson learned, every mistake corrected is proof that you're evolving. You don't need to have the full picture. You just need to keep painting it one stroke at a time. Progress shows that your effort is alive, that your dream is breathing, and that you're willing to fight for it even when it's uncomfortable. Perfection is an illusion that kills momentum. It convinces you that you're not ready, that you need to be flawless before you start. But nothing great ever begins perfect. The best speakers once stumbled over their words. The best businesses once made costly errors. And the strongest people once broke down under pressure. The difference is they didn't let the pursuit of perfection stop them from taking action. Progress doesn't demand that you be the best. It only asks that you keep becoming better. Every mistake you make teaches you how to refine your path, how to adjust, how to grow stronger from what didn't work. Progress builds confidence because it gives you proof. You start to see evidence that your work matters, that your consistency is paying off. It may not be visible to the world yet, but it's visible to you. The way you think changes, the way you carry yourself shifts, and suddenly you realize that every small improvement was preparing you for something bigger. Progress is quiet at first, but it grows loud with time. It's those early invisible wins that turn into the visible transformation later. Perfection says, you're not enough until everything's right. Progress says, you're enough because you're still trying. That's the mindset that separates success stories from unfinished ones. Every small act of effort builds a track record of growth. You begin to see your own strength, not in how perfect your journey looks, but in how faithfully you kept moving. Over time, progress becomes your greatest evidence that your dream is working its way into reality through your persistence, and your willingness to keep going. 5 months of focus can redefine your entire future, because when you dedicate yourself fully for a short, intentional period, you can create the kind of transformation most people spend years only talking about. Focus is a multiplier. It turns ordinary effort into powerful momentum. The problem is that most people are scattered. They want 10 different things at once, so they make 10% progress in 10 directions instead of 100% progress in one. But when you decide that for the next 5 months, you're going to block out distractions, silence doubt, and lock in on one mission, you'll be amazed at how much shifts in your favor. Focus is energy aimed with precision. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most with everything you've got. 5 months might sound short, but when you live with focus, time stretches. Every day becomes valuable. You stop wasting hours scrolling, comparing, complaining, and start investing them into the vision you set at the beginning. You become intentional about who you spend time with, what you listen to, and how you spend your mornings. Focus requires sacrifice. You can't keep every comfort and chase every distraction and still expect growth. But the reward for that sacrifice is acceleration. When your energy isn't scattered, your results come faster. The clarity that focus brings creates power that confusion never can. In 5 months of focused effort, your habits can evolve completely. You can replace doubt with discipline, fear with faith, hesitation with action. The small daily choices start stacking until you've built a rhythm of consistency that feels unstoppable. That's the power of a focused season. It rewires how you think and how you move. Every area of your life begins to align with your vision because you're finally moving with direction instead of drifting with emotion. When you live distracted, progress feels distant. But when you live focused, progress becomes visible. Each week brings a new result, a new lesson, a new piece of evidence that you're moving forward. Focus turns chaos into clarity and potential into progress. In just 5 months of clear, undistracted effort, you can shift your mindset, elevate your habits, and set a foundation that changes the course of everything that comes after, because focus doesn't just build success, it builds a new version of you. ChatGPT can make mistakes.